Chin's parents abandon their 2-year-old daughter, then sue her for parental maintenance, by user tester 33333. After a woman in China refused to buy her younger brother an apartment, her estranged parents filed a lawsuit for 500,000 yuan, approximately $71,818, in parental maintenance. The woman, 29-year-old Zhang from Guangzhou of southern China, was abandoned by her biological parents when she was 2 years old and has no relationship with them. She was reportedly abandoned as her biological parents could not financially support her, and they rarely contacted her throughout her life. Zhang was raised by her father's sister and considers her aunt's family to be her biological family. When Zhang recently used her savings to buy her cousin an apartment, her biological parents reappeared in her life and reportedly demanded that she buy her biological brother an apartment as well. After Zhang refused, her estranged parents filed a lawsuit against her for 500,000 yuan in parental maintenance. The court ruled that although Zhang is not obligated to buy her brother an apartment, she must negotiate the amount with her parents and pay the parental maintenance fee. Under the Civil Code of China, adult children have a legal obligation to support their parents regardless of estrangement or abandonment. My friend's mom pushed me into a table saw, update by user Bfu. So since my first post, thank you all for the kind words and advice, a lot has went down. First, Keelan and I have made up. It wasn't his fault for what his mom did and I get that. Secondly, after telling M's husband about what actually has been going on and him getting pissed at M, he's taken me into the station to get things sorted out and asking how I want to move forward. I haven't really decided what I'd like to do at the moment, but I'm leaning towards just money for compensation or something. M 2 days ago has also showed up at my house demanding for me, but I wasn't there at the time. But when I did get back home, I saw M standing there waiting for me. My mom said she stayed there the whole time waiting for me, and I went up to ask her what's going on and why she's here. And in response, I got a huge glob spat in my face and a whole bunch of yelling. Honestly, it took me a lot of restraint to not yell at her back, but I just calmly told her to get the fuck away from my mom and my house. Eventually she did. Update, again. Finally, after tons of comments, I'm going to take this to court. M's husband has given me a good injury attorney that I can talk to, and my mom needs to help me fill the documents out once I get there. When the court date is though. My parents sent me to a military high school. They keep saying how proud they are of me, but it rings hollow, by user Nicene4342. Both of my brothers went to this school, one then went to the Air Force Academy and the other is in the Coast Guard. I have zero desire to go military, and while my parents would kind of like me to follow in those steps, they are also cool with me not, but they didn't give me a choice on the high school. They said it was better than the local options, more opportunities, and it was a great experience for my brothers. Except I think my brothers love that environment, but I don't. On the very first day they shaved my long hair down to nothing. I hate wearing a uniform at all times, and all the marching / saluting / little other rules just are not for me. And most of the students here kind of love it, and kind of want to do what my brothers did. We just had a parent weekend where I saw my parents for the first time since they dropped me off, and they kept saying how proud they were of me, how I looked great in a uniform, how much straighter I stood, and how much they liked my new hair, a super short buzz cut. It kind of felt like they were knocking how I dressed and wore my hair before going to the school. I kind of had a long hair theater kid vibe. Anyways, it sort of ended with my dad saying it's a big change, but I'll get used to it and may wind up preferring it. My mother is probably going to die alone, and I'm very happy about it, by userishhole1120. Some backstory: I moved to Texas in 2013 when I was 26 on a whim because my relationship with my mother was toxic beyond belief. Throughout my time there I had cut off all communication due to her alcoholism, causing a domino effect in other parts of my life. Me having to call off my wedding because she decided to go into a drunken rage a few nights beforehand. Fast forward to December 23 of 2020, my dad got COVID, spent 9 days in the hospital and ultimately passed away on January 2, 2021. His death caused me to literally sell everything I owned, break my lease on my rental house, quit my beloved job, leave all of my friends to move home to New York to help her. Her alcoholism has gotten so out of control she refuses to work. I'm 65, I've paid my dues, so she depended on me and my younger sister to help her. I knew damn well where this was going and I knew what the end result was going to be. She wakes up and the first thing she does before she even takes a piss is make herself a vodka soda. Gets so blackout drunk by 11 a.m. she's falling on the tile floor. She's shit herself multiple times. She face planted right into 2 TVs, over the course of a year, while trying to get off the couch, I've been home since March 27, 2021 and she's been to detox twice, AA multiple times, but she never goes through with it. She just sits on the couch and cries about how she lost her husband. Not to discredit her, but 2 daughters lost their dad. Way too early, no warning. It's the same old song and dance. She charged me $600 a month for a glorified closet with a twin-sized mattress on the floor, not even a box spring under it. I swear, Ukrainian refugees had better living conditions than me. She makes my sister do all the cooking because she's so drunk by the time the afternoon rolls around she's usually passed out. Things finally came to a head back in April when I had a few friends over on a Friday night. We had a fire going out back. I'm in my early 30s, so my rager days are long gone. Just literally 4 friends, Pandora playing on my phone, not even a speaker, and some weed. Very low-key in my opinion. Well, not low-key enough for her. She stumbles out slurring and screaming that we need to STFU, turn it down, it's so loud. It was 9 p.m. on a Friday, so I just go numb, start yesing her to death, all the while giving my friends the she's about to morph into a Demogorgon, time to leave, save yourself. I volunteer as tribute. Look. As everyone is gathering their things she gets in my face, and slurs you were my worst mistake and I wish you would have died instead of your father. When I tell you it took every ounce of self-control not to just throw her into that fire pit. So I made it my mission to GTFO. I found a rental house that I have to work 2 jobs to afford. I am happy as a clam. I felt bad for leaving my sister, we're only 2 years apart and very very close. I knew it was just going to take a little time before my sister had enough of her leeching. Lo and behold I become great friends with my neighbor, who has an apartment available. Guess who's moving in solo November 1 st? That's right. My sister. And guess who has to go move to bumfuck North Carolina because her friend is offering her a room to stay in? That's right. The see you next Tuesday herself. I give it 6 months before her friend gets absolutely fed up with her drunken bullshit. I personally don't really care what happens to her, as far as I'm concerned I don't have any parents. I hope she does a lonely miserable death. I know my sister and I will be just fine, even better when she's gone for good. I'm so sorry this was so long. I'm sure there's all kinds of spelling and grammar errors, and I'm sure it seems like I'm rambling. Damn, that felt good to type that all out, and that was just the summarized version. Thank you. I'm baffled. I was asked to look after a stranger's child today. While I was working. On a boat, by user Magic or Pissbest. Was on a client's boat to take measurements for a job they'd like me to do. The place they're docked is alongside a lovely sidewalk that is open to the public. I was on the front deck when I heard a family walk by. I was aware of them, but I didn't look up, until... Excuse me. It spooked me, as they were so close, so I looked up. A mother and child were standing on the sidewalk in front of the boat. Sorry. You snuck up on me. Can I help you? Sometimes people stop to ask me directions to a bathroom or are curious about what I'm doing, so randomly striking up a conversation isn't uncommon, and I'm happy to help / make a bit of conversation. Hey, can you watch my kid for a minute? No explanation. No greeting. Nothing. I was stunned into silence for a second while my brain tried to process. The mother took this time to interject before I could reply. It's okay. She can just hang out on your boat with you. She what? Her child looked to be kindergarten age, maybe even younger. Before she could start walking toward the pier, I finally gained enough brain power to speak. No, sorry. This isn't even my boat. Oh. Well, whose boat is it? Like it's relevant? This is my client's boat. Can she come on? Ma'am, I'm working, I said, raising my voice a bit, holding up a bunch of measuring tools. It's just for a minute, she urged. I was appalled. Sorry. No can do. I was about to say more, but she interrupted before I could continue. Well, can you get off the boat and watch her here then? I gave her another stunned look. I am working. I said a bit slower. And I'm sure my boss wouldn't appreciate me watching strange kids while I'm on the clock. Again, I was about to say more, but her child was whining and pulling violently on her mother's hand. Fine, she snapped suddenly, dragging her child away up the steps. Not gonna lie, it was really odd and unnerving, and my heart was beating really fast. I am legitimately shocked. Boats / docks are not a safe place for children, especially without a life jacket. A strange child? Not knowing if they can swim or their water history. What about their behavior or if they'll even follow safety instructions/directions? Why would you give your child to a complete stranger working in a place not safe/suitable for a kid? While they're working. I am a stranger. I should ask the owner of the boat if they can reverse their boat into the space next time so I don't have to face the general public while working anymore. P.S. I'm self-employed. However, it's 100% true that my boss wouldn't appreciate me watching strange kids while I'm on the clock. Edit. For those of you suggesting that I should have jokingly identified myself as a sex offender to get her to go away, I'm going to assume that you're kids/teens who don't know how messed up that actually is. Even as a joke, that's a really sick thing to do.